All right, what's going on, everyone? Great to see you again. E-bike accessories, I made a list. I'm getting asked all the time for recommendations on different accessories, seats and phone mounts and all that stuff, right? So I thought maybe I would compile a list of some of my favorites. I'll of course link everything below so you can find it all, but I broke the list up into two parts. Number one is the essentials, the essential things that I like to put on all my e-bikes, the things I gotta have. And then the second part of the list is gonna be the nice to haves. You know, you got a couple extra bucks, you wanna get a few accessories for your bike, maybe you pick up one of these. So, and you guys let me know too if I forgot any major ones, but I'm gonna list them all out for you. Like I said, we'll start with what I think are the essentials. I think I do to every bike when I get it, if I'm gonna keep it and ride it a lot. And the very first thing is the seat. I always change the seat because I want a big, huge, wide seat. And they never come with that. So I've got a few recommendations there, or just, these are my favorites, basically, what I use. You buy whatever you want, right? So I'm gonna do that first. I'm gonna show you the seats that I've got. All right, one of the first essential accessories for me on an e-bike is the seat. I lean towards the Bikeroo seats. I've probably used these at least 3 times. I got 3 of them sitting right here. There's 3 different options. But let's start on the end. So, and I'll try to name the bikes too as we go. I'm sure you're curious. This is the fabulous EMX Extreme. It's a dual motor bike. And I put a cheap Amazon seat on here. This is like 10 inches wide. It's super plush, thick. It's got springs in it, right? Nylon springs here. And it says Ling Mai on it. I bought this one twice. It's fine. I don't mind that one at all for how cheap it is. I think it's really like 12 or 15 bucks, something like that. The Bikeroo seats are a little bit more. I think they tend to be like maybe 29, 30, 40 bucks, somewhere in that category. This was the first one I bought. It's really, really, really squishy. I love the seat. And this is the one with the metal springs in the back. They make some with nylon. I got some over there, I'll show you. This is the one with the metal springs. It is super soft. Even Mrs. Citizen loves this seat. It is like riding on a big marshmallow. Again, it's like 10 inches wide. That's one of my favorites. She has a Bikeroo seat on her bike as well. This one's a little bit flatter and it has the nylon springs in it. It's not quite as squishy and springy, but it is super, super comfortable. It's kind of wide and flat. I really like her seat a lot. If it came in black, if I could find a black one, I would buy probably more of those. I did buy a Bikeroo seat for my Citizen bike. And it is, again, like 10 inches wide, super soft and plush with nylon springs in it. Again, I like the nice wide seats. And let's circle back so I can name these for you. This was the Cyrusher Komoda bike. This is a rad mini step through, the wifey's bike. My custom built all-wheel drive. And I got this one over here too to show you. This is huge. This is the largest seat I've ever got on an e-bike. This is the Electric Bike Company Model E bike. And this seat is absolutely enormous. It's larger than any aftermarket seat I've seen. It's like over 12 inches wide. Probably the best seat I ever got on an e-bike. It's just absolutely ridiculous on there. But it's so comfy. It's super comfortable. There's no suspension or suspension seat post on that bike, so the big seat helps. But there you go. That's my favorites. I like the Bikeroo seats. Again, link everything below. But all right, the next essential accessory that I gotta have on all my bikes that are my keepers that I'm gonna ride a lot is bar end mirrors. And I've purchased, I don't know, 10 plus pairs of bar end mirrors trying to find the best pair. I don't know if I've really settled on one that's the best pair yet or not. I've tried many different versions. This was the original style I was buying. These were, what do they call it, like MZS tuning mirrors. These are on my scooter, my 40 mile an hour Varley Eagle 1 scooter. I even put mirrors on that. And they work. I like the look of them and everything. They give you really clear reflection in them, but this company changed the way they mount. Instead of using a rubber insert that goes inside the bar, they started using this aluminum one, and it just doesn't fit and it doesn't work well, and so I stopped buying these ones. But I will link if you want to look at it. On the EMX Extreme bike, this is the bike I ride with my daughter. So I put big, huge mirrors on here so I can angle it out and see her behind me and see traffic really well. So I've got these gigantic mirrors on this one. They're not my favorite, but they serve their purpose. You know, they're big, huge mirrors, which is what I wanted when I've got her on the back. So that's another option there. These ones are probably topping my list at the moment. I'll put the name on the screen, but they are round They're super easy to install these. I got these on the Komodo bike. I'll probably buy these again. They're really adjustable. They fit well, they look nice, they give you a good clear reflection on there. So those are probably topping my list at the moment. On the wifey's bike, she still has these MZS tuning mirrors. She likes those on there, so they'll probably stay on there. I've got some Hafni bar end mirrors on my Citizen bike. They're okay. This is probably second favorite. They're very similar to the ones I have on that Komodo bike over there. Round, easily adjustable, really easy to install. These all install the same way. It's just one, Allen head bolt that goes into the grip and expands so it holds it in place. And I tinted these. You can see they're yellow. I tinted them with like window tint stuff to match my golden black bike. And that's, I think, the best options I've seen for bar end mirrors. Again, I'll link below. And I choose the bar end mirrors because I don't want to clip anything else onto the handlebars. There's not enough room here. When you try to clip handlebar mirrors on, you're out of room. Like, look at that. There's no room over here to clip on. And the further you put it in here, you can't see around your shoulders then. So I always use the bar end mirrors. I think that's the best option for the best visibility. If I'm doing any serious riding, I just can't live without them. I just got to have them. Probably stems back from riding this beast of a motorcycle over here. I've always had motorcycles. I've had like 10 different motorcycles too. And I just got accustomed to checking traffic in the mirrors. All right, next essential accessory I always add is some kind of bag so I can carry stuff. I'm carrying all kinds of camera equipment and GoPros and batteries and all that stuff, hats, sunglasses, suntan lotion, everything. I carry a bunch of stuff with me, right? So I always add a bag. You can see over here. This is probably my go-to, the Rock Brothers bags. I've purchased, 2 or 3 of those, and that's what rides on the Citizen bike. This guy's got the expandable, so these drop down. Oh, there's one of my business cards. These drop down so you have expandable saddle bags. I like the bags that have those because when you're out and you want to stop and get something, you then have more storage capacity to bring stuff home. So I always look for that. I've got other options here too. This was one from Fabulous on their website, and again, it's got the fold out side saddlebags on it. They're even bigger than that one over there. And this was a bag, rear bag from Be Cool, one they sell on their website. Again, fold out side bags. But I always pick this style of like rear trunk bag because I typically have a rack on the bike. And they work well, they hold a lot of stuff. It's kind of a must have. I'm always carrying stuff with me, so I gotta have a bag on there. You might say, okay, well, take a look at this bike. So my wife's bike has no rear rack. And there's not really, there is a thing to mount for a front basket here, but a lot of times an e-bike won't have this front basket mounting option. And it's just this long beanstalk stem kind of bike, right? So how do you add a bag to that? If there's no rack, there's nothing on the front, you could go with something like this, like a scooter bag, right? This, again, Rock Brothers, I really like their stuff. But you could put this on a bike like this. It has the long beanstalk handlebar stem. Grab one of these scooter bags. They come in multiple sizes. This is one of the larger sizes. So you could use that as a bag. This one's kind of a hard case and then opens like that. I always keep some Allen keys with me. But there's another bag option for you. And there's also, I have a Rock Brothers one of these and this one here, which I snagged from. This came on the Magicycle bike and I've just transferred it over to the EMX bike. These ones work well also if you just got to carry little stuff, the ones that go on the top tube there. There's some bag options for you. It's kind of a must-have for me. I got to be able to carry stuff with me. All right, while we're standing here overlooking this sea of electric bicycles, this isn't even all of them actually. I have 5 more outside. So I have a problem. I'm addicted. I got to liquidate some of these and got to get rid of some of these. I can't keep them all. There's too many. I think I got like 13 right now. But another essential accessory for me has become the steady racks. I hang the bikes on the wall. You can see the aerial rider hanging on the wall there. It's so nice to just be able to lift them up, hang them right on the rack, and it frees up all this floor space in the garage. That's become kind of an essential thing for me to have as a steady rack. So I got 5 up there and I got another one waiting right there to mount. I'm gonna try to get 6 up on here on the wall. My fave 6 will probably hang in the garage, but that's become an essential accessory. The next essential accessory has to do with the ride positioning, and I'm gonna grab the aerial rider off the wall here to show you this next part. All right, so I'm betting that a lot of you are just like me and you do not want to be very far leaned over or hunched over riding the bike. I like to be very upright and tall when I ride, and there's one little tiny accessory that helps so much with that, and it's cheap. It's like 12, 14 bucks, something like that on Amazon, and it's a stem riser. One of these right here, this piece. So normally your handlebar would be clipped down here, but you get this little 3-inch riser, and it brings your handlebars up in the air 3 inches. So it really makes you sit more upright. I've added it to the Komodo bike. I've added it to the aerial rider bike as well. And you just put extra, spacers in here. It comes with some of those, so you can adjust it to fit perfectly. But again, I went up another 3 inches on the stem here. The Citizen bike has just an adjustable stem on there, so I can lift up there for a taller ride position. But I've purchased this and added it to, 3 or 4 bikes at least. It really changes that ride positioning. You can also change these out. I've changed these many times as well, so see how this sticks out a good 2 or 3 inches. You can get one that is just, there is no extension here, so it brings the handlebars back to you, and it's way more comfortable for me. I just want to be nice and tall. That is a very easy change. It's 3 bolts. This one here and these 2. You release that and clamp this riser right onto the top of the fork, and it takes 5 minutes, if that, to do that, and it's such a better ride positioning. So that's become an essential piece for me, just to get the nice tall seating position. All right, now let's talk about some of the nice to haves, right? First thing I'm gonna bring up is the Tannus inserts, the Tannus armor that goes inside your wheels. It's like a tire liner, and it's foam. It's like a foam ring that goes in there, and it makes the ride quality really, really soft with the also added, puncture protection. I've enjoyed that. I put that in the Citizen bike, and it's a noticeable difference in the ride quality. So it's expensive stuff though. It's 120 bucks, I think. It's kind of a nice to have. If you got money to burn and you want a smoother ride, check out those Tannus Liners. I did a few videos on those, but that would be a nice to have, not an essential. Another one that's nice to have is some kind of cup holder. I like this one. This is by Kemimoto, and it fits perfectly right there above the rear shock on the Cyrusher bike. And it just goes on with one little alligator style clip. I'll take it off of here so you can see how this thing functions. You can just clip it onto anything, any bar. It clips right on. It's so convenient. It goes off and on in 2 seconds. It's got a drawstring there to seal around any can or bottle. I like this one. This is my favorite little cup holder, so check that out. All right, now the next nice to have thing I'll say would be different grips. Almost all these e-bikes are coming with these leather wrapped palm rest style grips, right? They almost all have these same grips on them. You can see them on the Rad bike, they're on the Aerial Rider, they're on this U-Free City Robin bike. It's kind of the standard grip, I guess. I like the rubber grips. I prefer the grip of that. Like the Cyrusher has these nice locking rubber grips on it. I really like those. Now I will not change these. These are great. The EMX Extreme bike also had these rubber locking grips. I like the ones with the locking rings on the end. They're so much easier to remove and reposition, and they don't spin in your hands at all. So I like those style. I like to change them out if I can. I put those on my custom Citizen bike. I did round ones instead of the palm rest ones, but again, they have the locking ring on the end. Those are my preferred grips. I like round grips. I like rubber grips. So if you find that the leather grips are spinning in your hand, as you ride, you can always change them out to the locking ring style ones, which I think are much better. All right, over here is the next thing people always ask me about a lot. Phone mounts. I really only use these 2. This one's got the rubber thing that stretches around the corners of your phone. It holds it really securely. The only thing I don't like about this style is it takes forever to get it mounted on the handlebars. It's kind of a pain in the butt to take it off and on. And then I have been using this. This is probably one of my favorites because it's got that, alligator style crunch clip. You can pop it off and on a set of handlebars in like 2 seconds. And then it also automatically, so start like that, you put your phone in there and it pushes this button and then it just collapses right on your phone like that. Holds it really securely, actually. This was a cheap one and it's probably my favorite style. I don't really ride with my cell phone in front of me. I ride to get away from my cell phone. So the only time I really clip my cell phone on the bike is when I'm using it to show you guys the speed when I'm doing e-bike testing. Otherwise, when I'm out riding for my own time, my phone's in my pocket, and if it rings, I just cancel it automatically. All right, here's another cool accessory to have. I've purchased a couple of these. This is the one I've been using. It works just fine. I'm sure there might be better options, but it's a bike pump, rechargeable bike pump. You just turn it on here on the end, and then you set it to the pressure you want. You just dial it up with the plus and minus to whatever PSI you're looking for, and punch the go button here, and it pumps the tire up automatically to that desired pressure. It's super duper convenient to have this instead of busting out the air compressor every single time I want to fill some bike tires. And this is way more accurate or easy to get the desired pressure. It just automatically shuts off when it hits it. So check them out. I think they're like 50, 60 bucks ish in that neighborhood, but very convenient to have. All right, so the next nice to have item I'm gonna say is a suspension seat post. I got one here on the EMX Extreme bike. It comes with a Zoom suspension seat post in there. So I've got one on this bike. I think I have one on the Bike Tricks bike as well. So these just straight post style suspension seat posts are pretty cheap. They're like 30 bucks for one of those, and they do their job. They're not amazing, but they work. They'll, take some sting out of some of the bumps for you. There's more elaborate ones, like this one comes standard on the U-Free City Robin. It's the Suntour suspension seat post, and it doesn't go straight up and down. It kind of goes back at an angle a little bit when it compresses, and it's something to get used to, but once you get used to it, it's very comfortable, but it's quite expensive. I think this is over 100 bucks if you want to buy one of these aftermarket. And there's many different options. I tend to go towards the cheaper route. I don't really notice that dramatic of a difference in it. Is it worth an extra $100 for that one? I don't know. It's nice that it comes standard on that U-Free bike, but if I was gonna go out and buy one and I wasn't sure if I wanted one, just get the $30 one. Really, just try it out and see if you like it at all. And the other thing to keep in mind is when you add a suspension seat post, you're adding a good 3 inches of seat height. So if you can barely touch the ground on your bike as it is, putting one of these on there is going to add another 3 inches to that. It could make it really difficult to ride. There's just no way around that. You got to get that squish of suspension somewhere. So even this post like this, you're going to add a good, 2 inches minimum, probably closer to 3 inches of seat height, adding a suspension seat post. All right, and the last few things I'll say it would be nice to have is just anything that dresses up the look of the bike, adding different headlights, aftermarket headlights. I like sometimes adding spoke skins or wheel tape. I put wheel tape on the Citizen bike. This is just gold, like motorcycle wheel tape, but can be used for bicycles as well. You can see I've got green wheel tape on my actual motorcycle over there. And I added spoke skins to a number of bikes. They're just basically plastic tubes that go as a coating over the spokes, which really makes it flashy looking. Depends how flashy you want to be. I put them on that Cyrusher 900 bike I had and did a video on that. It actually looked really cool, I thought. A lot of people didn't like it, but I liked it. But anything that's flashy and dresses it up and makes it your own and unique, I'm a big fan of that. I like to customize. I add custom parts to almost everything I get. All right, now I know there's 2 things I haven't talked about yet that you're all screaming, why has he not covered this yet? These 2 things are essential. First is a helmet, right? I just don't have a good helmet recommendation for you, really. The first one I ever bought was this bike helmet here, this Schwinn, and I just didn't feel cool wearing that, right? So I went out and I bought this one. This is the one I've been wearing. It's actually a ski helmet, but it looked more cool to me. I don't know, it fit my beard and my face better, I guess, I don't know. But this is the one I've been wearing. I wouldn't steer you away from it, but it's got a lot of padding in it that you can't remove, so it's pretty hot in the summer. I don't have really a good helmet recommendation for you. If you guys know of a good, cool looking helmet, man, drop it in the comments. I'll check it out. I get emails all the time for bike products. People want me to push those things, and there's some helmets in there too. Maybe I'll look at those. Maybe I'll take a look at those emails and check out those helmets and see if I can find a good suggestion that I think that I would wear, right? So that's number one I'm sure you were wanting to hear about. And then the other thing that I haven't covered that I'm sure that you are screaming at me to go over is bike locks. And I just don't have a good recommendation for you. I think they're all probably pretty easily defeatable. Is that a word? Easily defeated. And yeah, I mean, I have these folding locks and cable locks and this giant 20-pound chain lock, and I don't know. I use this one, this cheap one that can probably be, you know, ripped apart with your hands. My security is I just never leave them unattended. Even when I take them out and go to dinner, I mean, we sit outside and we, you know, sit next to the bikes where they're parked so we can see them at all times. And I just don't really leave these unattended. That's my security. I mean, again, if you guys have an awesome lock recommendation, go ahead, drop it in the comments for everyone. But most of the time I just use basic cable locks. I don't really know, and I haven't researched, and I haven't tested, and I don't know, I just don't know what the best kind is. All right, well, there you have it, some of Citizen's favorites, and I hope maybe I inspired you a little bit to start accessorizing and customizing your e-bike a little bit, making it your own. I love when people do that. People send me pictures of their e-bikes all the time saying, hey, look what I did, and they attach like 5 pictures of it. It's kind of cool to see them all. Maybe I should compile those into like a video montage for us. I'm probably gonna get hit with a bunch of those now, but it's okay. Just keep sending them. I like seeing them. So hope you found that helpful. Again, I'll link it all below so you can check it out. And tell me what I forgot. What major accessory that's essential am I forgetting that I don't have on any of these bikes? So drop it in the comments. Appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for watching.